Technology found in today's society, like this microchip or this cell phone, is all based off the advances in the use of metals to further society. But how did things that make up buildings, computers, and train tracks get to Earth? The building blocks that allow our society to function as we know it started with the beginning of the universe and the Big Bang. The formation of the heavy elements began with hydrogen and helium. Elements that are considered heavy elements are any of those other than hydrogen and helium. The periodic table is broken into 3 different categories when talking about the classification of the elements. There are metals, metalloids, and nonmetals. In terms of fusion inside of stars, the birthplace of heavy metal formation, the elements hydrogen, helium, carbon, oxygen, magnesium, neon, silicon, and iron are all involved in sequential steps. Stars form when gravity pulls together clouds of interstellar dust. The rotating clouds form into a disk with the protostar in the center. The solid particles located in the cloud slowly form together over billions of years until the larger particles are formed. The accretion of smaller particles into larger planetesimals is just part of the process of producing heavy metals. As with most stars, it is initially contained 74% hydrogen and 25% helium before the hydrogen begins to convert into helium by fusion. An accumulation of heat causes heavy elements to settle at the core of the star. Helium fusion takes place at 100 million degrees Kelvin. Fusion of heavy elements is a sequential process in which helium atoms are added to even larger elements. When helium is exhausted in the core of a star, this causes the core to contract. The contraction increases the temperature to the point that carbon fusion takes place. Helium atoms are then added to the carbon to form oxygen, magnesium, and neon. Once the carbon source is exhausted, the core contracts again and magnesium fusion forms silicon. When this process ends, silicon fusion begins until iron is formed in the core. Each of these fusion processes release energy. However, iron fusion with helium does not release any energy. When the core is filled with iron, a massive collapse of the core takes place, causing a supernova explosion. As this process has repeated itself throughout billions of years, there has been enough accumulation of the heavy elements in our solar system to provide Earth with the heavy metals that are now common to us.